all have that one thing in our life right now that we are so tired waiting for it. Maybe you are waiting for a breakthrough in your money so you can finally pay off your debt or your bills. Or maybe you're just waiting for a toxic situation in your life to just clear up. Or maybe you're from those who are begging Allah every single night and every single day to send you a good spouse to marry. Now, you look around and it feels like everyone else is doing well and everyone else is getting somewhere. Everyone else is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them money or a beautiful spouse, a beautiful marriage. And then there's you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you just hard times and unanswered prayers. But, I want you to really understand something. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes you wait, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isn't ignoring you, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just preparing you for what's to come in your life. He's preparing you for your journey and His gifts that He will bless you with. He's preparing you for it. Just because someone else has something doesn't mean you need it right now or it's right for you right now. Maybe in their journey of life, for them getting married or for them having a certain amount of money or financial freedom or whatever it may be, it's right for them in their current moment in life. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't think it's right for you. My brothers and sisters, let's look at the raw reality of the times we live in today. We're a generation that wants everything done yesterday, meaning we just want instant gratification. If you want food, you press a button on an app and it arrives at your door in like 20 minutes. If you want information, you type it into some AI search bar and you get an answer in less than half a second. If you want to talk to someone across the planet, you send a text and they see it instantly. Everything in our modern culture is designed to give us instant results. We simply do not know how to wait anymore, right? That's our reality. And because we are trained to expect everything instantly, we start applying that same rushed expectation to our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want Him to instantly give us what we want. You raise your hands in dua, right? You pray your salah, you put in honest hard work, and then you just want a miracle to show up immediately in your life. All right? It's like you go to work and then after a certain amount of work, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and also your employer gives you your pay, right? The pay comes in your bank account. And that same way you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works, okay, Allah, I'm praying to you, I'm making dua to you, I'm doing good, I'm giving sadaqah. I want you to quickly respond to me. And when it doesn't happen, right? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't respond to you right away, when weeks of Him not responding to you turn into months, and those months sometimes turn into years, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left your situation exactly the same. And when that happens, your mind falls into a massive trap. You start looking at the silence from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the heavens. And you start telling yourself, Allah is ignoring me. He doesn't care about my tears. Why is Allah making me suffer so hard? My brothers and sisters, when this happens to you, or if this is happening to you right now, I want you to take a few steps back, right? Take a few steps back from the impatience that we've built and understand the truth about how we are built. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. Man was created of haste, impatience. We were created from impatience. سَأُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِي فَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ. I will show you my signs, so do not be impatient. Allah tells us, I know how you are. Right? Allah is talking to you. Allah is saying, I know how you are, my servant. My servant, you want everything right now. But my brothers and sisters, the universe does not run on our micro timelines. It runs upon the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Hakim, the all-wise. When Allah forces you to wait for the things you want most in your life, whether it be a stable job, a good marriage, some financial relief, it's not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying no, He won't give it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it when it's right for you. But right now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing, sometimes Allah is preparing you for it. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting you from it. Because He loves you. Because maybe you're not mature enough to handle all that money. Or to have a wife. Maybe your intention of having a wife is for maybe just the intimate reasons. Right? Rather than having a companion. Rather than companionship. And then what would happen is eventually a relationship that's built on something that lasts maybe minutes to few hours. That's not something that's like, imagine your whole relationship is built upon, or expectation of marriage is built upon your intimacy, right? That's a recipe for disaster. So maybe you're not ready because I want to get married so I can have halal intimacy, right? A lot of people in our generation think like that. Or I want to have $1 million so then I can do X, Y, Z, Baby, you're not ready to have $1 million. You're not ready to have a wife because you don't have the right mentality yet. Or even if you have the right mentality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't think you're quite ready yet. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting you from His love. He's protecting you. Now, why does Allah make us wait for things we want the most? It's like the things that you really want, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you wait the longest time for. Now let's look at the real wisdom, the hikmah behind the delay. My brothers and my sisters, because if you received everything you wanted the exact second you asked for it, a lot of times it would completely ruin your character. First, the delay from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cleanses your heart. When you ask for something and you get it instantly, your ego grows full. You start believing that you are the master of your destiny, right? It's like you think hey, I control the genie and whatever I ask for, my wish is always granted. And then you start becoming a little bit egotistic. You think your intelligence and your cleverness or your hard work brought the success. But when Allah holds back the answer, when He makes you wait until you have completely run out of options, and you realize that no human being can save you, that is when your pride and your ego is shattered. Your prayer changes from a casual wish list, right? From just asking Allah casually to a cry of raw desperation, right? And you really humble yourself before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The delay in what you really, really want forces you to build true tawakkul, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rather than just falling in love with the worldly gifts and all your wishes being granted right away. Secondly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us wait because the delay, as I've mentioned before, is a preparation. Imagine a young man who prays for a multi-million-dollar business. but he currently lacks the discipline to manage a simple $500 budget, or even speak respectfully to his parents. Now, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala handed him that massive wealth instantly, it wouldn't be a blessing, right? It wouldn't be a blessing for the person. Rather, it would be a disaster, right? It would lead him to arrogance, corruption, and even self-destruction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes you wait because He is using the waiting room, right? The waiting room in this dunya to build your sabr, your patience, your character, and your capacity to handle the blessing safely. My brothers and sisters, the delay from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again I'm saying, is not permanent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying no. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying to you, I love you too much to give you something, my servant, that you aren't strong enough to carry yet. Look at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And we will surely test you with something of fear, hunger, loss of wealth, and lives, and fruits. But give good tidings to the ones who are patient. And then you look at another verse in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Indeed, the patient ones will be given their reward without account. When you show just a little bit of sabr during your financial struggles or your relationship delays or anything that you want in this world, Allah doesn't just hand you, my brothers and sisters, a regular reward, right? He gives you much, much more. You'll get in this world and also the hereafter, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He will give you your reward without account, right? The patient will be given their reward without account. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not keep account of how much rewards He gives the ones who are patient. Now, let's bring this straight into your daily life, in our daily lives. You're sitting there stressed out because you're looking at your age, looking at your calendar, and you're also comparing your life to people on your social media feeds. You think, man, I should have been married by now. Or I should have had my career locked down by at least 25. And then you just feel completely behind. But let's kind of fixate our confidence in how Allah managed the timelines of the greatest human beings to ever live. Right? Who are they? The prophets, the Sahaba, and our Salaf. Right? Look at Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. He spent years sitting inside a windowless Egyptian prison for a crime he didn't even commit. He prayed every single night in that silenced concrete cell, right? He saw zero progress. He was stuck. But what was Allah actively doing during those years of waiting, when Yusuf alayhi salam was waiting? He was moving the political and economic gears of an entire empire. He was causing the Prime Minister of Egypt to grow old, right? He was preparing a global famine. He was training Yusuf alayhi salam inside that cell to become a master of resource management. Allah was aligning the universe for Yusuf alayhi salam, so that when Yusuf alayhi salam finally stepped out of that prison, he wouldn't just be a free man. He stepped straight onto the thrones as the king of Egypt, right? Saving millions of lives. Now, if Allah had answered his prayer instantly during year one, Yusuf alayhi salam would have escaped as a simple runaway slave running in the desert. Allah made him wait to make him a king. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Yusuf alayhi salam wait so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could make him a king. Now look at his father, Yaqub alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam's father is Yaqub alayhi salam. He lost his son, right? His favorite son, Yusuf. And Yaqub alayhi salam cried for decades until literally his eyes went completely blind from grief. And then his other sons looked at him and said, "Why do you keep crying, Dad? You're going to ruin your health over this." But then Yaqub alayhi salam's response to his sons were, قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. Yaqub alayhi salam said, "I only complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you do not know." My brothers and sisters, Yaqub alayhi salam was broken. Imagine, his eyes were blind. His heart was heavy. But he refused to let the decades of waiting shut down his tawakkul, his trust upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knew that a delay from Allah was never Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying no or shutting the door on their face. He knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't shut the door on his face. It is simply a long, beautiful setup for a reunion that would completely wipe away the decades of sadness that Yaqub alayhi salam faced. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah wrote a quote, a beautiful quote, and he said, "If the believer knew how Allah manages his affairs behind the scenes, and how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares about his success, more than he cares about his own success, his heart would melt out of pure love and gratitude and awe for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." My brothers and my sisters, stop treating Allah like someone who's supposed to just hand you everything you want, whenever you want, and every time you want. You have to trust Allah's timing. He's making you wait. There's 100,000,000% reason, and there's a wisdom behind that. My brothers and sisters, true peace of mind does not come from forcing the doors of life to open on your schedule. The true peace comes from reaching a state in your heart where you're content with Allah, right? You're beautifully content with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses for your current situation. Imam al-Hasan al-Basri says, if you are content with what Allah has given you, your heart will find peace and rest, and your mind will leave you alone, and it'll be quiet. But my brothers and sisters, if you refuse, Hasan al-Basri says, if you refuse to accept the way, you'll only become more and more anxious, and you'll just have more and more regret. Your soul will just be full of regret. And the worst part, you will still never receive anything from this world except for what was already written for you to receive. Right? I really want you, my brothers and sisters, to let go of this heavy expectation. I mean, you should expect from Allah, but not instantly. And stop looking at your age. Stop looking at your calendar. Stop comparing your timeline to the people on your social media feeds or your friends or family who are on a different journey, right? Your journey, your story, your path was designed by the being who loves you more than your own mother. Now, if you keep your intentions pure, protect your salawat, protect your prayers, and just show a little bit more sabr, Allah has a track record of making dreams come true in ways your logic could never even calculate. The job you lost was just clearing space for the career that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put in your life that will elevate you. Maybe that relationship that just failed Was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protecting you, keeping you safe from a person that who would have ruined your peace? And even in the scenario that the relationship wasn't working out and it just broke, it could have got even worse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected you. And I want you, my brothers and sisters, to really just relax, be calm, wait for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wait for Him to give you what you want. And with whatever He has given you right now, be content. Right? The beauty lies in waiting. The beauty lies in trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.